So it all comes down to this, folks. One game to change it all, that's right, as we head into the final round of qualifiers for the World Cup in 2026. These are the final European matches. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today it is match number 10, that's right, over in Europe, as we try and find out who actually will make it through to the World Cup in 2026 from the UEFA category, that's right. We'll get into all of that and much more in a second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe. You want to subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, World Cup qualifiers, World Cup itself, that's right, over in 2026. Of course, we've already got some confirmed nations, but still got to cross the T's and dot the I's for some others. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in 1 second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons. You know who you are. But let's get into it then, of course, because we've got no more time to waste. Games are kicking off in about 3 or 4 hours. So get in there, of course, and get predicting down below. But this is, of course, the state of play in the qualifiers from the last round of games. So here we go then. Heading into it, a quick look at Group A. As you can see, Germany are in charge after their win over Luxembourg. Slovakia, though, in hot pursuit. Ready and willing to take over the top spot if Germany were to slip up in that final game. That's right. Into Group B, it's Switzerland, of course, dominate. Kosovo still can technically qualify, but of course, goal difference is massively out of their hands. Denmark slipped up a little bit after drawing with Belarus. The Scots, though, couldn't take full advantage themselves, losing to Greece, and it all goes down to the wire in Group C. In Group D, France are in control. I think they've confirmed their spot in the World Cup following on from that victory there. Iceland and Ukraine still looking for that runners-up spot. Of course, it'll go down to the wire there. Spain not actually there yet. Turkey still mathematically could qualify, but goal difference definitely in the favour of the Spanish. Portugal again slipped up, losing to Ireland. Hungary and Ireland both trying to get into that top spot. I think Hungary and Ireland lock horns in that final game. We're going to be talking about that in just a second here. Up and over to Group G again. The Netherlands choked a little bit, a drawing with Poland, but still 3 points clear. Massive goal difference. They're expected to qualify, with Poland looking to settle for the runners-up spot. Austria again in charge in Group H. Bosnia-Herzegovina trying to get into it. We will not have Romania, I believe, at the World Cup in the end. Norway are just about there. The goal difference is well in favour, but they do have to take on Italy in that final game, which of course could see them both ending on 21 points. But Norway's massive goal advantage should see them over the line. Into the final surges here. Belgium not there yet, with North Macedonia and Wales still breathing down their necks. Belgium slipping up with a draw. I think it's against Kazakhstan. Just the other day, Wales with that narrow win over Liechtenstein keeps them in the hunt or top spot, and maybe in the runners-up spot. England are there. Of course, they secured the spot a long, long time ago. Albania have got the runners-up spot in there, so they will have to duke it out in the playoffs. Into Group L, Croatia secured the deal there. Czechia also getting a little bit closer. In fact, they are there as well. With Faroes, could only settle for third, but a great, great performance by those guys. So that is the situation there, my friends. We don't have much time, like I said, but we're going to jump in the deep end and predict these round of games, which do kick off today. I will have the videos for Monday and Tuesday after this one, but we're going to jump in there right in the top of the shop here by going to Portugal. That's right, as they take on Armenia. Coming to the Estadio de Dragão. Portugal, of course, Roberto Martinez. They're just about there. They've got to get, I think, a point or more. We'll just about do it. 10 points for them so far. Just back-to-back games, though, without a win for the Portuguese. Up against the Armenians, Yeni Malyalkin. They sit in, I do believe it says third in the table here, but fourth in the table with 3 points. 3 defeats on the spin, just 1 win in the last 6. They've taken on Portugal 5 times to 2007. 4 wins for Portugal, nothing for Armenia. There has been 1 draw. They did play reverse fixture back in September this calendar year when they beat Armenia 5-0. Of course, last time they played at Portugal, just the 1-0 win for Portugal back in November 2014. The Portuguese, though, back-to-back games without a win. The last win was at home against Portugal. On the road, the last away win was against Hungary way back in September 2025 as well. The Armenians, back-to-back, that's 3 games now without a goal for them. But at home, they can be tricky. Of course, 2-1 winners it was. But it is in Portugal, of course. Don't forget that. I nearly forgot that. It is in Portugal. Bookies will back Portugal on this one massively. And of course, we want to see a World Cup, no disrespect, with Portugal there. I'm going to go with a win for Portugal, 4-0, comfortably done. And of course, into the World Cup they go. Then we go to Hungary. And Ireland, pretty much a straight shootout, find the runners-up spot to continue their World Cup journey into 2026 with those playoffs. At the Ferenc Puskás Stadium, Hungary, and Marco Rossi, they sit second right now, 8 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Taking on the Irish under Helmer Helgronson. They sit third right now, 7 points for them. Back-to-back wins, of course, and their record against Hungary is pretty savvy. They're unbeaten since the last in the last 4 matches, picking up 1 win and 3 draws. That's of course stretching back to 2012. They did play in Ireland back in September. It was a 2-2 draw. A draw like that will not be enough for Ireland. They need to beat Hungary to leapfrog them, of course. But they are unbeaten against them in the last 4. Their last time they played at Hungary was a 0-0 draw back in June 2021. Hungary on the back of that 1-0 away win against Armenia. Ireland on the back of that 2-0 win at home to Portugal. Back-to-back wins, back-to-back clean sheets for them. And they'll fancy their chances here. But the bookies will back Hungary. I'm going to go with a bit of a surprise. I'm going to back the Irish to get something out of this one. 2-1 win. I think that win over Portugal done them the world of good confidence-wise. And they'll fancy their chances to get a result here. Let's go to Albania. That's right, as they take on the English. That's right, at the Air Albania Stadium. Albania and the Silvino, of course, second in the table. 14 points for them, it looks like. 5 wins on the spin. Not a bad side, are Albania. Up against England under Thomas Tuchel. They sit top with 21 points, 5 wins on the spin themselves. Now, they have played 3 times since 2021. England winning each and every one of them. 3 wins, no defeats, and no draws. They did play 2-0 winners. It was for England way back in March 2025. I think I might have put down a massive scoreline here. Of course, yeah, Albania haven't won, haven't scored a goal against them, and we'll look to try and change that. Of course, following on from 4 successive wins and 3 clean sheets out of the last 4. England also clean sheet heavy as well. Haven't conceded a goal since that loss to Senegal way back in June 2025. The bookies will back England. I'm going to back England. I think I've gone with a 4-0 win. I don't know where I've got that out of, but I'm going to go with it. Stick to my gut. And of course, maybe England will flex their muscles now heading into that final game. Ukraine against Iceland. I think these two sides are duking out for that runners-up spot right now. Ukraine under Sergei Rebrov sit third right now. 7 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 4. Up against Iceland and Alma Gunnlarsson. Just 1 win, though, in the last 4 for them. They sit second with 7 points. They've taken on Ukraine 6 times since 1999. 3 wins Ukraine, 1 win for Iceland, and there's been 2 draws. They last played, of course, over at Ukraine. It was a 2-1 win for the Ukrainians way back. What the heck was that? I was in a playoff back in March 2024 for the Euros. Goodness gracious me. Ukraine have won back-to-back against Iceland coming into... But they're on the back of a 4-0 whipping by France back in 13th of November. The Icelanders on the back of that 2-0 away win against Azerbaijan. They've actually scored, what we're looking at here, 7 goals in the last 3 matches combined. They did lose to Ukraine 5-3 in the reverse fixture in Iceland. And of course, the bookies do see that, they recognise that, they acknowledge that, and of course, they fancy them to get it. I've gone with a draw here, I believe, 1-1, which doesn't do any favours for Iceland, who I'd love to see in there in the World Cup themselves. But I think Ukraine will get the nod and get into the playoffs and will continue their journey next year. Meanwhile, Azerbaijan up against France at the Tokayev Baramov Republican Stadium. Azerbaijan under Akyan Absanov sit 4th right now over in Group D, winless in the last 15 matches. Up against the French, of course, unbeaten in at least the last 6. They've won 5 of that last 6, top of the table, and already pretty much there in 2026 themselves. They've played Azerbaijan 3 times since 1994, winning all 3 of them, scoring 15 goals in total, averaging 5 goals a game against them. They last played, of course, back on the 10th of the 10th of this calendar year, 3-0 win as it was for the French in France, of course. Last time they played in Azerbaijan was way back in December 1994, 2-0 win as it was for La France. Azerbaijan losing, of course, 3 matches on the road there. The French scoring abundant of goals over the last 4 games as well. On the road, though, they're not the greatest. Their last away match was a draw against Iceland. But, of course, the bookies will back them heavily. I'm backing them heavily as well to win this game. Going to go with a 3-0 win for the French. Of course, we will see them in next year's World Cup. Serbia will not be there, I don't think. I think they're in the playoffs. No, not in the playoffs. Up against Latvia, of course, at the Duboko Stadium. Aviko Punovic there for Serbia, 3rd in the table. 3 defeats in the last 4. Up against Latvia, winless in at least the last 8 under the stewardship of Italian Paolo Nicolato. They played Serbia just the once. They lost it last time around. It was the 1-0 win for Serbia in Latvia. Serbia are on the back of that 2-0 loss to England. Latvia on the back of that 0-0 draw against Macedonia. Haven't scored a goal in the last 2 matches. Haven't scored a goal in 4 of the last 5 matches have Latvia. Serbia should win this game. They're still a decent side. Gone with a 2-0 win as well for Serbia. Into the final 2, we have Israel against Moldova coming to the Sumbaru. Israel under Ramban Shimon sit 3rd right now, 9 points for them. Winless though in the last 4. Up against Moldova under Lilian Popescu, they're down to 5th right now over in Group I. Haven't won in the last 10 matches. They've taken on Israel 7 times since 2004. They've lost 5 of them. There's been 2 draws between the 2 sides. The reverse fixture, when Moldova hosted this game way back in September, was a 4-0 win for Israel, who have won 3 on the spin against them. Of course, unbeaten the last 7. Of course, the bookies will back Israel. I will back Israel. Going to go with a 2-0 win as well to take it to the house. And then finally, a bit of a tasty one here, but it doesn't have. It's tasty on paper, but realistically, it's Norway are already there. It's Italy against Norway at the Giuseppe Meazza Gennaro Gattuso's boys have won 6 on the bounce right now, second in the table, 18 points for them. Up against Norway and the start so back and unbeaten in at least the last 6. They're top of the table there, 21 points, and have played Italy 10 times since 1938. Italy winning 6 of them, Norway winning 2 of them, and there's been 2 draws. They last played, of course, at Italy. It was a 2-1 win for Italy back in October 2015. They did lose the reverse fixture in this competition here, the qualifiers. 3-0 was to Norway way back in June 2025. Italy on the back of that 2-0 win over Moldova, back-to-back clean sheets, up against Norway, who in this competition have scored 20 goals in the last 3 qualifiers. But a lot of them, in fact, all of them are at home. Away performances haven't been the greatest. They picked up a 1-0 win over Estonia. So we'll see how that. They've been pretty much faultless this whole tournament, this whole qualifiers. It's a tight one here. I do think Italy will win this game. I just don't think it'll be enough. Of course, they need to win by like 9-0 to get any hope. So I don't think Italy will do that, and they'll have to settle for the playoffs. And that is it, guys. That's all I've got for you. Make sure you subscribe. Of course, I'm sorry for the lateness. I've just got back from a 15, 16, 18-hour drive. So I do apologise. But they're here. They're in there. Get predicting. Of course, let's see who comes out on top. More videos, of course, we're here for later on. But until then, we're done.